Welcome back to the Just Living Podcast. I'm here with Derek Rasmussen. Derek has been serving and protecting this community and communities around us for longer than I've been alive. Today, I'm going to be addressing the concerns that was made on my Facebook post, as well as getting to know Derek. Thank you for meeting with me again. As they don't know, this is our second time. The first time, I was not happy with the way I asked. I just wasn't happy with it. On my part, he did a great job.
It's my turn this time.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to... First of all, I think the most interesting thing is how the debate went for you and your opinions on that.
I think the debate went pretty well across the board. I mean, obviously it derailed at the end a little bit and things got shut down, but for the most part, all was well from everybody, the audience, the moderator, and all three candidates.
How many people were there?
I don't know.
Were you just trying to
enough to fill a couple sections of bleachers?
Right? Or were you just trying to not act like anyone was there?
I mean, I don't mind them being there, but
it adds pressure.
It does.
Yeah, and he did say, I don't know if you want to keep this in or not, but that they didn't tell you what questions. They didn't give you any idea.
There was no preparation at all.
They just threw you out there and said, "Deal with it."
Yeah,
that's cool. Just hey, I could do a better job on the setup if there was ever another one.
There you go.
Just putting it out there. But my opinion on it is I was going to interview the other candidates, and I'm not even going to. I think Derek's going to win. I believe he should be the one that wins, in my opinion. I'm 19, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess. I don't know.
Every opinion matters, right?
To some people. But
I appreciate that.
I think that you're the right person. And going off our last conversation, and by the way, we did a 45-minute interview last time, and I sat here for 2 hours, and he talked to me. So if that tells you on anything about who he is. And also, he was willing to give me the second chance on how I failed. So thank you so much. We got
I didn't wear my cool hat last time,
yeah.
So it made it better.
You need to show your American pride. There you go. Get all the voters. I wanted to. This is one that I did a terrible job on. Like in the past, having lived here for how long?
Oh, let's see. I've been here since '97, so 28 years.
28 years. Noticing change and being able to see the change throughout the years. Are you going to re-implement? Do you think any governors in the past have done really good on a certain thing? Would you like to expand on that, or are you kind of just going to go, okay, this is what I know, and I'm going to kind of do my own thing and see what works?
Yes, I mean, in all honesty, the beginning 15, 20 years of that, I was young too, and how much did I really pay attention to those kind of things? Right. So I can't really speak to too much of that. On the last 8 years has been Cassandra, and honestly, I think Cassandra's done a pretty good job across the board for the most part. So we're just going to keep trying to progress and keep trying to make things better is really all it comes down to, I think.
So not focusing on anything in specific or in particular, but just make things better overall.
I mean, if there's one particular thing, it's, we've got the land to do the new development up here on the north edge, and we really need to focus on that and make that a reality.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
add more housing?
That'd be the biggest thing.
Housing?
Yep. That development is hopefully going to be housing and an assisted living facility.
Oh, cool. I didn't
Bring
know
in
that.
some jobs and some variety.
Yeah, we need jobs for sure. My girlfriend's looking for jobs now, and it's like
some more tax revenue.
That would be nice. Yeah, more people.
But with that growth, in case this doesn't come up later, obviously growth is scary.
Yeah.
Especially for a small, quiet town like this.
And
I didn't lock my car doors or my house until I became a cop, and that was just for different reasons, obviously. But we want growth, especially for my sake, with my career, my background, all that, and where I'm at now. I don't want to bring in any more crime.
Right.
So we've got to be careful what growth we have.
Right.
And that's why, like an assisted living facility would be great. You bring in good revenue without bringing in additional crime or issues necessarily. So.
Right. And I think that you're going to be able to do a good job with that because you come from the law enforcement background. So you're able to look at and see different sides of that. I think that's pretty awesome. Because I don't have any idea. If it were me, not that I would win or anything, but if it were me, I would have no idea what you know. So I wouldn't be able to, look at that pattern and see this could be a problem in the future. So it's really important, I think. Let's see, can you elaborate on your mindset and how it influences not just your everyday life, but also your work as a police officer? And how do you intend to apply this mindset in the potential role as mayor? That was a lot, so I could go back and break it down.
Yeah. I mean, so what?
Your mindset. I last time we talked, the way that you think and you go about your life, I think is fantastic.
I mean, I don't want to say I don't plan. My wife would tell you I don't plan, but I am a fairly kind of just spontaneous, go with the flow person. I try to be pretty calm.
Right.
A logical thinker, I guess, is how I would describe
Rational.
it. And just kind of improvise and adapt
Right.
as you go, and just try to make the best decisions. And I mean, yeah, just
I thought it was cool how you took defeat or failures.
yeah. I mean, every failure comes with a lesson. You know,
Right. Yeah.
that's what the L is for. It's not a loss; it's a lesson.
I like it.
So learn from it. But I mean, I like to learn. I like to gain knowledge.
Right.
And I think most mistakes or failures, there's some that are uncalled for, but for the
Right.
most part,
Most of the time.
just take those as a learning opportunity,
Right.
and move forward from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I always. I mean, as I trained, cops here, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them.
Right.
Especially
Right.
during training.
Yeah.
That's what I'm there for.
Yeah, don't make a mistake and forget about it.
Yeah.
Actually focus on the mistake and learn from it. I agree. Also, I forgot to tell you again, which I was supposed to tell you. This logo needs to be facing towards you.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. Honestly, it didn't affect the audio on the last one, but that was also something I needed to change, and I forgot to say it, so look at me go. And then how do you, because I know you're busy. I hope this time you've not been up for 27 hours.
No, I've had a little more sleep this time.
Good. How do you intend to apply? That's the same question I just asked.
So I'm going back to the busy part, I guess, of
Right.
your question. I mean, I am busy, but I prefer to be busy.
Okay.
I don't
Keep going.
I don't like downtime.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Kind of a chaotic mess type of person, It's a mess, but it's an organized mess.
Right.
So,
Right. You have control over it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I'm really bad at planning as well.
Yeah.
So I'm good at time management. Like I always have things done on time and whatnot, but just planning, I struggle.
I work better under pressure also.
Really?
So I mean, having that
Do you think
busyness
that's
of just
because
go. Once you stop is when it's over,
Right,
So
right.
just don't stop.
you work better under pressure? Is that because you're a police officer, or is it just who you think you are?
No.
It's just
I'm not sure when that started. It's just me.
that's a great thing to have, is because a lot of people just fail. I mean, I'm crumbling under pressure.
But I mean, you also can't overthink
Yeah.
if you don't have time to.
Yes,
So
yes, it's-
I'm not much of an overthinker.
you can waste a lot of energy. in
I don't
overthinking.
really have any anxiety. Like I just go
Yeah, right.
and hope for the best afterwards, I guess. No.
Make the best call in the moment, and then if that wasn't the best call in the moment, realize that and fix it afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, there's some method to the madness, but I mean, it's
That's
kind of hope
fair.
for the best sometimes.
Hey, you're being honest, which is huge. So a lot of people would just lie and say the best thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that.
You're not painting with a broad brush. That's nice. How do you manage and maintain a healthy work-life balance?
Whew.
That's a good one.
Well, I mean, I guess to a point I didn't used to. Having a kid a year and a half ago really changed things for me.
Oh, yeah.
I've always worked a lot,
Right.
my whole life. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time that I had one job or the last time that I worked a 40-hour job. But having a kid did change that a lot for me. So now I do make sure to have some more home time.
Right.
But I mean, how I do it, I don't really know. I just make it work.
Right.
Like right now, my kid's obsessed with going on bike rides.
Nice.
So other than these couple of days or the last couple of weeks that have had some bad weather, we've made sure to fit in time for a bike ride every day, no matter what.
Good bike ride. Can't go wrong.
So try to find something every day to fit in time.
Yeah. Do you try to find, I mean, like some people, or for me, like I use a different hobby, is to kind of get away from thinking about work and about these things. But like you said, you like to work under pressure.
Yeah,
so.
I like work. I like what I do at work. So, I mean, there's times that I tell my wife, because she'll need to get a hobby too, but my job is my hobby, I had no problem watching videos and listening to some different podcasts or
Right.
whatever
Right.
that pertain to my job off duty, or the other cops calling me all the time and we talk. And how I say, don't you ever want to get away from work? Actually, she used to always say that she was my mistress. I was married to my job, not her. But no, it's great. I am family oriented, so now that little family is there, it's definitely
Right.
changed some things. I do make some more time for home, but I do work a lot too, and that probably won't change.
Well, I mean, if you're able to, if it doesn't affect your personal life, then I don't see a problem with it. That was all I had that I thought I should. So now we'll just go on to what the town has asked. And,
Okay.
Will you be trying to bring more business into Villa Grove, like you just mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see
addition.
some more business and help the businesses that we have now thrive. Really,
Right. Yeah.
I think somebody even asked at the debate, what's your focus? Is it more on the business side of things or on residential? And I think we've got to grow with a balance. We need both.
Right.
You can have all residential and no business, and nobody's going to want to live here. You can have all business and no residential, and then what's the point of the businesses if nobody's living here to support them?
Right.
So it's just a balanced growth. But yeah, I mean, other than not just new business, I definitely want to make sure the ones we have can thrive also.
Right. That's huge. I think a lot of people will be pleased to hear that. How will you bring more citizens to participate in city council? Because I heard that was
Yeah,
low.
so I would love to see our city council meetings streamed online.
Okay.
That's one option.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I've heard that the schedule isn't really published very well.
Right.
So maybe make sure that's updated and maybe try to find some more places to publish it.
I'm also curious. Yeah, that was what I was curious on, because I know a lot of. I mean, I'm in the Facebook watch group, and that's where I get most of my in-town news.
Mm-hmm.
Would you primarily use that, or would you try to get a different method of getting the word out there? Because
the city has their own Facebook page too,
Right.
And it could be on there. But somebody told me when I brought that up, well, I don't have Facebook.
Right.
I get that. I got to finish the answer.
Yeah.
But there's also a website that it can be posted on. People have asked about maybe trying to get the bank to put it on their LED sign.
Right.
The community building has an LED sign. So if we can post it more places, but also make sure we
Get it
keep
out
it up there on the website, maybe have a more active website or a Facebook.
Yeah. Or user friendly.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I want. This is personal.
Another thing with the council meeting, to actually have involvement, you've also got to make sure that people are comfortable coming to give their opinions. I've heard there's some people that feel like going to the council meeting is a waste because their opinion isn't heard,
Right.
or nobody cares about it, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not now there are times you're not going to get your way. I mean, it happens.
Right,
It's
right.
the way it is.
Yes.
But to at least have that opinion valued and listened to,
Yeah.
is going to be big.
Yeah. When you go there and make a statement and nothing changes, or it's not even addressed, or maybe it is addressed and just nothing ever changes. So yeah, I want more nature walks.
That's
More
been,
things to do for the community, I guess, is a better way to put that. It's just more things to get people out, and I mean socializing especially.
Yeah, I mean, that's been mentioned. We just had a strategic planning and economic development meeting recently that I went to, and it was talked about maybe trying to get some sort of like nature walk, like a bird sanctuary type area in the nature
Right.
walk out at Richmond.
Yeah.
We've got all the area out back,
Yeah.
and all the lowland and all that. It'd be great to get something out there.
Right.
I mean, and this will get said 100 times, I'm sure, but everything costs money too.
Yeah.
So
I know you last time you explained that, and a lot of the things I didn't even realize that was. I just never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And that the government is almost a business. You have to have money.
It is.
To make
and there's
a
only
change.
one pot of money to go to everything.
Right,
So
right.
You don't want that to run out.
It makes it a lot more of a challenge, and I think maybe that could be a part of the reason why people get outraged in Villa Grove is that transparency isn't there to where we go, hey, we literally can't do much about this right now. We heard what you said, but there's not much we can do right now. Is that transparency just letting people know what's really going on?
Yeah.
I think that would be nice. How this is, I literally copy and pasted these. So how about all the rundown, dilapidated, and just plain trash houses? No one wants to live beside that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think most of the dilapidated, for the most part, are like vacant or abandoned, but somebody still owns it.
Right.
The
Just
city
not
only
doing
has so much control
Right.
of what they can do with somebody else's property. However, they did do a good job for a long time
buying up a lot of properties in the floodplain or abandoned ones and tearing them down. Last year before, they did the one on what used to be Front Street, now Harrison. That was torn down. They just sold that lot to somebody.
I saw that.
They just approved a bid to tear one down over on, I think it's West Vine Street.
Nice.
That's been an eyesore for a long time. So that bid was just approved. So that should be getting torn down soon.
Good deal.
I mean, they are trying, but again, if it's something we got to buy from the person that has it to be able to tear it down,
Right.
there's money to buy it. There's money to tear it down. I mean, I think the one they just approved the bid for, if I remember right, it's right around $11,000-$12,000 just for the demolition side.
Wow.
You know, so if
Yeah.
you've got to pay $11,000-$12,000 for demo plus acquire the land and all that.
Right. And I don't know how the money process works. So grants and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so
is
they
that-
used to get a lot of money from FEMA for a lot of the
Okay.
floodplain stuff.
Yeah, yeah. To get
Obviously,
those dangerous
when
structures out of
COVID
it.
happened, FEMA spent a lot of money there and not other
Right.
places.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the update is on that now that we're
Those are the type of
supposed
things
to be 4 or 5 years past COVID and yet
Right.
somehow still living in COVID times. But yeah, I mean, there's things to look into and do it. It's definitely a slow process. The other
Mm-hmm.
part is, I mean, the ones that people own and still want to live in,
What's
it's a matter of taking pride in your own stuff. I
Right.
mean, you got to want to fix it.
Right. That was one of the things is I know how do you ordinances?
Ordinances, yeah.
Ordinances, thank you. Jeez. How far can the city go with that? I mean, like I don't.
I mean, it really, we have our ordinances in place, and you
Right.
can do enforcement on them. However, that actual enforcement on the end of things comes from the courthouse.
Okay.
So is what the courts do, whether they find the person or what they do, and then to go do that process. Now we're sending our attorney,
Right.
so we're paying our attorney their hourly rate, which isn't cheap, to go to court for us. So you can easily end up racking up $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in court costs on our end, just to have that person fined maybe $500 or
And
whatever.
that's if you win.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, do we go spend $3,000 to $5,000 per property to have somebody fined $500?
Right.
And then what? I mean, they pay it, they don't pay it, and you got to do more court work to go for them not paying it.
Yeah.
It's not a
Gamble,
easy
really.
fix.
It sounds like it's big time gambling to me.
And it's not necessarily a one solution
Right.
thing.
It's not
every
like
property is different. So
just change everything. Yeah. Yeah. So but as long as you're trying to do something about that, I think people will be
yeah,
happy.
absolutely.
The water prices, the obscene water prices need to be addressed, please.
Yeah, I mean, depends on who you ask where the whole selling the water plant situation was at.
Yeah.
Our prices were going up no matter what.
Right.
They've gone up so much because of all the work that was put into them.
We also cannot forget about inflation. That's a real thing that is
Right.
affecting that as well.
Right. I mean, power bills have gone up, car prices have gone up.
Yep. I mean,
Interest rates have gone up.
everything. You go get. I mean, I got a McFlurry today, and it was $5 for a McFlurry.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I think they were $1.89 when I worked there.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's also, I mean, the government also has a control on what the water companies can charge.
Right.
So that's outside of our hands.
Right.
But I mean, I do think that with the upgrades that were needed to the sewage plant, that for the city to make that money, they were also going to have to raise them drastically to cover that cost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That is.
it was
true.
kind of a no-win situation there
Hey,
necessarily, I
It
guess.
doesn't
for-
smell like rotten eggs as much anymore.
That's true.
So.
The smell is better. I mean,
So-
there's still some chlorine. I still
Yeah.
don't
Yep.
care for the taste of it.
No.
But the town smells better. You
It
know?
smells a lot better. That's a win there. I think it's really easy to focus on the negatives.
Yeah, and there was a lot of work put into it. You know, they did change out a lot of lead lines.
Right.
So
And that kind of leads into the side streets because I know that they've been putting water mains in and doing a bunch of changes there, and side streets are looking rough.
yeah, I mean, part of the problem is we do a lot of oil and chip roads instead
Right.
of concrete or asphalt.
Yeah.
But I mean, trust me, nobody wants to pay the taxes that it would cost to do concrete
Right,
and asphalt
right.
roads here.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the repairs I've seen that they did after their valve repairs and line repairs have been pretty decent concrete repairs, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do have some roads that need addressed.
Yeah.
And it's something you just got to do a little at a time, which, from my understanding and from what I've seen, we have done a few roads every year
Right.
for a few years now. But I mean, if you put all the roads in at one time when you start the town, eventually they're going to,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
and we
have issues. And
Right.
I mean, how do you you don't just go through and redo the whole town
Yeah,
at once.
yeah.
That's a lot of money and a lot of
Right.
headache to try and make it work.
And it would be a headache to get around all of
Right.
that.
So it's a matter of just doing a little bit every year. Same with the sidewalks. You
Right.
do a few every year and get them on a schedule, and eventually you just get to the point
Yeah.
where you're just constantly just doing a little bit at a time.
And do you you hire what you can't do, what you can't have the city workers do. So I was also curious about the maintaining the trees around town.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was a kind of a big debate recently, is whether we do it with the city workers or we hire someone else.
So, and I've thought about this lately, actually. It's funny you mentioned that. But we need to do as much as we can with the city workers. And if it's something we can't do, if it's obviously outside of their scope, then obviously that's going to get hired out.
Right.
If it's something they can do but don't have time to do, then we need to look at, is it going to be more feasible for us to hire another worker
Right.
or pay another company? If we can hire another worker for about the same cost as what it's going to take us to pay somebody else, why not have the other worker?
Right.
Have another job in town.
Yeah.
And a chance to do more as the future goes on.
Right. Yeah. I like that. Stray cat issue.
It's a big issue, and I live right in the middle of it. Trust me, I hate it. My dog got a few of them.
Yeah.
It goes back to enforcing the ordinances.
Right.
The leash law applies to cats too.
Right.
But now we've got so many cats that aren't even pets. They're just
living.
town strays. Luckily Mel did a great job. We got a bunch of them, spayed and
Right.
fixed so that we don't have so much procreation, but
Still.
at the same time, we've got so many now, and cats live a fairly decent life.
That's true.
But yeah, it's gonna get down to partially enforcing those ordinances, like we
Right.
talked about already, and then looking into some programs to try and get some relocated if possible. But
Again, that's money.
yeah,
So yeah. I think there was
a big part though is people not giving them food and shelter too, though.
Right.
If they keep being given food and shelter, they're
Then
going to
the-
stick around the area and they're going to keep coming back.
Right.
So you got one neighbor that wants the cats and
And one
another
that
neighbor that doesn't, and it's just a back and forth battle.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of variables on that. I guess city hasn't been buying local.
I've heard that from some people. I can't speak to whether they have or haven't necessarily.
Right.
I can say that my direction is to buy local, and it will be that way.
Yeah.
I mentioned that at the debate too. I will say that, they're not going to say there's never a time that if for some reason local was going to just be drastically higher to the point that it wasn't feasible,
Right.
then again, it comes back to it's a business. You also got to make the best choice for the business.
Right.
But if it's going to cost, by the time you got to go, say, Champaign and get something, send one employee up there. There's at least an hour and a half between drive time and time of getting what you're getting that you're
Right.
paying that employee. So keep numbers easy. Say we're paying $30 an hour. There's $45 that we
Yeah.
spend on top of the price of the good.
Yep.
Then we got gas, wear and tear on the vehicle they drove up there. We're at what, $60-$75 somewhere in
Easy.
there that we've added
Right.
on to the cost of the good. So unless the one here was $100 more, we still lost money.
Right.
So I would rather spend the money here, and then plus you factor in now the time that we've lost from that employee. Could have been getting
Could have
stuff
been
done
doing
here.
something. Yeah.
We've lost that productivity out of them now also.
Right.
So yeah, my directive is to buy everything local that we can, not only goods but also services.
Right.
There's no reason to outsource services outside of town when we've got service, people in town that can do that same service.
Right.
Let them bid it, look at the bids, and go from there.
Yeah. Well, I like to hear that. I didn't know. Recently, I heard a story of I think it was not the people who own Rick's now, but someone who did before a long time ago. They had a shipment, and the shipment, people have to go out of their way to deliver here. It's not a main thing. So the delivery truck ran behind, and then there was some problem, and basically they said, hey, because of this issue, we're gonna have to charge you a little extra. And so this guy got the prices of, say, $110, and they charge extra and add 15 cents to that. He's losing 15 cents, so he has to mark it up 15 cents.
Yeah.
And it's like those are things you don't realize that's part of that business. Is he's not marking it up. He's marking up to live his life as well. You got to do what you got to do, I think that's kind of forgotten. I think that kind of ties into transparency of letting people know that this is why this happens.
Well, and the more somebody buys, the better price they get. You know, there's
Right.
a reason that Walmart is so much cheaper, and it's because they're buying truckloads of something.
Yeah, a large quantity.
Whereas we're buying maybe a case.
Right.
So the more that is bought here, the more he's going to buy,
Yeah.
the better chance he has of getting that lower rate also.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So there's so many different factors, and it's way more complex than you'd ever think it was.
oh yeah.
And I don't know. I had this. I looked at government as like just this thing that happened. I didn't kind of realize that it's actually a business, and they actually have to work almost like a business in a way, and keep the good of the people in their art as well as try to spend their money as best they can.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. That puts a whole different light on how I look at government. I'm curious. I don't really understand how the positions work. Like, I don't know. Do you, as the mayor, deal with everything? Does it go through different people?
I mean, it depends on what it is, but like when you're talking decisions that are made and spending that's done and things like that,
Right.
really the mayor is there to be a tie-breaking vote. The council,
Right.
we have 6 council members, so the
Okay.
council does the voting. If there's a tie, the mayor casts a vote. Otherwise,
Okay.
the mayor doesn't even vote.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can still pitch ideas, you can bring stuff up,
Right.
but the actual vote is done by our council
Right. How often do we have city council meetings?
every other Monday.
Every other Monday. Wow, I didn't even know that. Okay.
It's 2 a month.
So you would say go out there and give us your ideas.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Just get more people in there, more ideas flowing. Because I feel like everyone's gonna say what their opinion, but they never bring it to light.
Right, or bring it to the right place.
Right.
Opinions go to
Right.
Facebook all the time.
Right. And they just get unanswered,
and
and then
it's
it's just a debate online.
Opinions and complaints. I mean, for example, I saw somebody over the winter that went to the community watch group or the bitch and complain group, whichever it was, and said, is this road going to get salted?
Yeah.
Well, did you ask Public Works first? If they said no, did you ask your alderman?
Right.
If they said no, did you ask the mayor?
Did you immediately do
But
the
no,
easiest thing?
it went straight to Facebook first.
Yeah.
Well,
Went straight to.
I don't
easy.
think Public Works is sitting there monitoring the Facebook page to see what to salt.
Right.
So,
Yeah, no, hopefully that's not what they're doing. Monitoring Facebook. Yeah, well, that was all the questions I had.
awesome.
If you have any,
I feel like that was a lot shorter than last time.
well, I did better this time. I didn't stumble through my questions as much. I still did a little bit, but I really appreciate you sitting down with me a second time again. Once again, maybe we could do it after you win. I'm just gonna say it now.
Well, thank you.
I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right on that.
Yeah, we'll see. You never know.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming and sitting down with me.
I
again.
appreciate you setting it up.
Do you
Appreciate you doing it and caring, being involved.
Yeah.
Seeing I guess I'm not the younger generation anymore, so seeing the younger generation step in and care is nice.
Yeah, it's something that I didn't realize I was interested in and wanted to learn more about, because there's a lot, and there's a lot of change you can do. And a small town is like, this is where you would want to be involved, because it's where your opinion might actually matter, versus a big place where that gets unanswered more often. So you kind of got to realize where you are and a lot of that. And so I really appreciate it. Thank you. Do you have anything you want to say?
I mean, election's April 1st. Make sure you go out there and vote, regardless of who you're voting for. It matters. Exercise your right. Obviously, I hope to get your vote, but regardless, just make sure you go vote. Everybody's offered support, and I've had a lot of support. A lot of people say that I've got their vote, or they put my sign in their yard or whatever, but doing all that is kind of wasted if the votes aren't there. So let's make sure we go out April 1st. Vote.
Bingo. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.